Wealth, yoga, wine. Welcome to my podcast. I'm Valerie Hill. Leading with your head only when you make decisions will make you dead. That's a quote from Matt Boggs, who is the CEO and founder of Life Mastery Institute. Instead, Matt wants us to lead with our heart. This is what's called heart-centered management. When you make decisions, you really want your heart to lead into the decision-making process. Why would you want that? Because if you're only using your head to make decisions, you become obnoxious. You become self-centered. You don't think about others around you. However, when you open your heart to management and to making decisions, you have created an open gate to more opportunities that you never imagined. When we only think with our head, one of the things that happens is that fear comes to play in our decision-making. So many of us can't reach success because we have fear of failure. We have fear of the unknown. We have fear of being uncomfortable. When you make decisions from your heart, pay attention to what you would love. If you're in a corporate environment and you are leading a business, what would your employees love? This is a new world order we're facing. People aren't returning to work because they have longing and desires which are not being met in today's world order. People want on-the-job training. They want to be paid more than a fair wage. People want childcare, whether it's a man or a woman. They want childcare at their corporation or nearby. They'd love for it to be subsidized for a corporation. This is what leading from your heart begins to produce: opportunities to attract new people into your life, new employees who are quality employees, and they want to stay with your corporation. When you lead with your heart, you are going to find opportunities to retain perfect employees because you have attached your heart desires also to their heart desires, their longing and their desires. This is heart-centered management, and I believe we're going to see more corporations and small businesses do this. When my French-themed bed and breakfast was opened for 16 years, meaning 16 years ago, it's closed now because of COVID, I paid my student chefs who were from the Culinary Institute of America right down the street, I paid them $15 an hour. And that was 16 years ago. It was just a small bed and breakfast because I didn't want to retrain people. We had high clientele. I wanted them to be professional and treat the guests with utmost respect. And again, that was a decision made from my heart, not from my pocketbook. An example of two great businesses which manage from their heart. Kira Grace is a women-owned business with all women employees. She makes USA products right here. What is amazing about her business is she is reaching out to other women who want to either start a business or they have dedicated their lives to yoga teachings around the world. Those are her global ambassadors. The warrior ambassadors, which she supports with 10% of their profit, of Kira Grace profit, their warrior ambassadors are women-owned businesses. Some may be startups, where she donates 10%, as I mentioned, of the profits. What she is looking for in these warrior ambassadors are women who are making a difference in their community. Not only do they have a business, but it's a business that actually serves the community to improve the lives of young women. For instance, Tiffany Cruikshank has a business called Yoga Medicine Foundation. Her outreach is to young women in India to show them they have other opportunities and prevent them from being trafficked in this human exploitation business that is so rampant globally. Pure Grace makes beautiful yoga clothing. They actually sent me some samples and they fit because they asked. But their clothing, again, it's made in the USA and it's beautiful. It is the kind of clothing you just don't wear to a yoga class, but you're going to wear even on the street. Beautiful, wonderful company. The web link will be on my podcast details, of course. Also, Moffitt Breast Cancer. It's a conglomeration. It's a city almost. Of course, it's a hospital. They do empirical research. I spent 2 days there with one of my best friends. She had a double mastectomy. From the people who greet you to the 2 surgeons who took care of her to the nurses, they had private consultations with me while my friend was undergoing surgery. It was like staying in a 5-star hotel. These people lead from the heart. When we first walked in and we were getting her prepped, well, the nurses were, and the anesthesiologist, I said to the nurses, it is so calm and serene here. You really don't hear too many people talking. She said, well, we love each other and we support each other on a daily basis. We know how serious it is for the patients coming in with cancer. To hear another individual say about her coworker that they love each other, that is heart-centered. And Moffitt Breast Cancer Institute is, I can promise you, it's one of the world-class, world-renowned businesses in the healthcare industry. Speaking of yoga clothing, in Kundalini Yoga, we always wear white. We also wear a white head dressing. I don't cover my head. I just wear a ponytail or a bun. The reason we wear white is because it lets in the pure essence. However, it doesn't really matter what color you wear in yoga class or your yoga practice. What is important is that you wear proper clothing. You need to be able to stretch, and as some of you know, some of these positions are painful. I can't do a lot of them any longer because I'm 65. Now, 26 years ago, I could do almost everything except a headstand. I could kind of do a headstand against the wall. The important thing with these clothes, and Kira Grace, as I mentioned, this is her business, is creating these beautiful designs in yoga clothing. They are all different colors, all different sizes. They are beautifully luxurious clothing to the touch of your fingers. She really pays attention to detail. And as I mentioned, there will be a link on my podcast details where you can purchase her items online. Remember that she is giving back to the women's community, and it's another reason to support Kira Grace. I strongly suggest that you go and buy her clothes. And when you do sign up for her newsletter, they also offer a 20% discount when you are a new client. Lastly, wine. But I'm actually going to talk about spirits. Even though I do not drink very seldom now, I definitely don't drink hard spirits. This is the season where we're going to see more bourbons and whiskeys and specialty cocktails. When I was with T. Edward Wines in New York City, we only worked with the smallest family-owned producers. Everything is hand-distilled in these 2 distilleries. One is called Fluid Dynamics. What I love about Fluid Dynamics is they are small bottles, pre-made cocktails. One is called the Saratoga, one is the Manhattan. They're perfect if you want to just have 2 cocktails, and all you got to do is open these beautiful concoctions and pour them over ice. The Fluid Dynamics is from California. The other one I like is Dry Fly, which is made in Washington, and it's from 2 gentlemen who love fly fishing, and they use rye wheat. The difference between whiskey and bourbon, everybody wants to know, and it's simply the concoction of wheat. Some use corn. You can easily just Google it and find out what the big difference is. But what differentiates these small distilleries is that they're 99% always family-owned or by people who are partners because they believe in their own philosophies. And again, these are distilleries which are working from their heart. Yes, they need to make a profit, but they are really a part of the community. They provide local jobs. They go to their local farmers. They're only purchasing from local farms, which is something as us global citizens in the United States, we really need to focus on our local farms and not these large agri-farms. So again, I'm going to have, of course, T. Edward Wine's link. You can go on and research and find out where to find these special small distilleries they have where they're distributed. And certainly reach out to me with a text or an email, and I'll be happy to help you find these amazing small distilleries. What you're hearing now, especially in New York, Florida's a little behind the times, but you're going to hear the term from grain to glass because there's no middleman in between. They're not these big producers who I won't even name, but you know who they are. It's those 25 case stacks of bourbon and whiskey and vodka that you see on the floor. So find your small distilleries. There's also a small distillery in South Carolina called High Wire that is absolutely worth checking out too. In conclusion, lead from your heart. Not only should you lead from your heart in a corporation, but also with love relationships. Don't overthink things, but look at ways to support your small companies like Cure Grace, even a conglomerate like Moffitt Breast Cancer. They are leaders in working from your heart. And of course, yoga clothing is very important. And this kind of clothing from Cure Grace, what I love is that you can wear it on the street. Of course, you can wear the white clothing with Kundalini Yoga, but you look like you're having a little more fun with Cure Grace's clothing. And lastly, check out T. Edwards' website because they have some wonderful small distillery owners, companies that you should seriously support. In conclusion, I am not a life consultant. I'm not a life coach. I produce this podcast once a week so that I can help people on a global basis enhance their life every day. Of course, I am an affiliate and would love for people to sign up for the multi-week programs because that is another way I earn a living because I practice heart-centered management. Merci.